minutes to get in, so you kind of just like sit there and stare at each other for a few minutes. So where do you live, Will? Okay. Oh, nice. Where in Illinois are you roughly? Oh, I lost you there for a sec. What was that? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. We'll lead one of the guys who runs the site. He's from outside of Chicago too, so that's why I asked. So, are you're Will at three, right? You're picking at three. Okay, cool. We got Evan in at two. He's from the chat. He's Evan from the site. We got Ken in at five. So awesome. I think so. This mock draft starts in 7 minutes. So why don't we let's start talking. So welcome in to the mock draft Monday for Football Absurdity. My name is Jeff Krisko. I'm here today with Will Rivera. He's going to be one of the writers for the website coming up this season. He sent me a particularly spicy take about Tom Brady, and I was like, all right, I'll take this. So Will, how you doing today? Pretty good. I did a bunch of writing this morning. It's the weather's getting better over here. I'm over here in Sacramento. It was like 110 last week, so I think it's high 80s now. So I'll take that over 110 any day of the week. Sooner rather than later. Yeah. So Will, why don't you talk to the people, a little bit? You said you're New York everything. What got you into fantasy football? I guess would be the question. Uh huh. Very cool. Oh yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. I hope for the best. Yeah. I just finished a dynasty startup that was 20 rounds, and then we did the rookie draft, and that took 10 days because it had that 4 hour gap thing, and it's nice when you're on the clock so you can think about it, but whenever somebody else is on the clock, you're just like, come on, man, I got players to take, I got things to do. I just noticed my watch is dead, so I'll deal with that. Yeah, Will. So you said you moved out to California for a little bit. Whereabouts in California were you? Yeah. That's what I was gonna ask. I was gonna say it's not. It's not. Yep. It's nice to be done with Sunday Night Football and be like, all right, let me. I can throw on a movie. I can, do whatever I want now. Start looking at stats, all that stuff for the next week. But yeah. So awesome. So yeah, we start in about 3 minutes here. Let me check to see the chat if there's anything anybody wants to talk about. Evan says, "What's up, gang?" Oh, it says your audio is not coming through. Thank you, Evan. So let's try this again. Will, why don't you try talking again? We can do a little troubleshooting here to see if this works.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Evan.
Can you hear me
Can
or no?
can you? Yeah, I can hear you. Evan, can you hear Will? All right, this is good. We're able to do. Okay, now we can hear you. Perfect. So
Okay,
all
perfect,
is
perfect.
good. I think as long as you're not doubling up. So we have this problem where sometimes the streams double up. So I turned off your stream, and I guess it wasn't coming through the computer as well. So I think Skype might have fixed that problem. We had a whole mock draft before the real draft that had to get scrapped because you could hear everybody twice because Skype screwed it up. So Will, you're picking third. What had you think about picking third? Where are you? Who are you hoping to get there?
So the first round, I think I'm gonna go running back.
Okay.
I'm gonna stay away from I'm gonna stay away from McCaffrey. I think I'm gonna stay away from McCaffrey. I think if everything goes well, I'm gonna take the same running back that I took in the other actually in the draft that I'm doing right now through Sleeper, and that's Jonathan Taylor. Looking at Jonathan
Okay.
Taylor right now,
Wow.
I just think that he came into his own. Yeah, he came into his own last year. I just think that I think their offensive line is ranked second right now behind the Browns, but I really think, I mean, me personally, I think that they're actually first in the
Mm-hmm.
league. So I like Jonathan Taylor. I like what he was able to do, especially like to close out the season. I mean, he was just throwing up crazy numbers. Some of the numbers that some of the running backs were throwing up for the game, he was throwing.
Yeah,
Hey,
sorry about that. That's that that.
no,
It's my
it's
dog
all
loves
good.
to bark, and she was in the office with me. Sorry about that. So
No, 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 you're not. No, you're fine.
yeah.
You're fine. No, so I think just one of the way he finished the season, some of the numbers that he was putting up, some running backs were putting that up for the game he was doing in the first
Mm-hmm.
half. So I remember there was some games where he was already over 100 yards at halftime. So yeah, take him and build from there. But I think he's gonna definitely be one of the running backs that's gonna be finish top five this year.
Awesome.
Definitely.
Yeah, Evan took him third in last week's mock draft. So I guess it's a theme here. It's a take Jonathan Taylor third overall theme. So we're picking back to back. So I actually think that'll work out pretty well. And I think it's a lot of people. Oh, we accidentally joined a 10 team league. Oh boy, that's on me. That'll definitely change things. So I was kicking around the idea of doing a 10 team league because it's a little more shallow and to see about, like what kind of
Okay.
team we could put together. But I didn't realize that that's what I had told everybody to join. So everybody's team will be awesome, as I guess what it'll come down to. Um, Mike says rock and roll this draft. So yeah, Mike was on last week with me on or 2 weeks ago on Mock Draft Monday, and then Evan was on last week. So those are a
Okay.
couple guys on the site. So very cool. So you're thinking Jonathan Taylor here? I mean, he'll be there for you, so that's good. Now I'm wondering at fourth. So you said you're a Giants fan.
Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing. I think in the first round, so much of it is getting your guy, a guy you feel good about. And so, like,
Right.
by ADP, Jonathan Taylor, it looks like, is fifth right now. But if he's your guy, you're not going to get him in the second round. So, I mean, a lot of this this
Yeah,
this
that's true.
this ADP here, a lot of this ADP gets driven by the site rank, like on every single site. So, the site's got him at five, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's five. Let's see what Fantasy Pros with the expert consensus has him at, because that's what I like to see. I think they're pretty low as a consensus, but oh, these are my ranks. Hold on, those are mine I'm not done with them. Nobody's allowed to roast them yet. Uh, um, but it's like in the first round, get your guy. You know, whatever whoever that might be. I mean, don't go crazy and take like Aaron Jones, first overall or anything like that. But I mean, 2 years ago during his
Right.
breakout, somebody in like high stakes leagues took Christian McCaffrey first, and he was like 108 by ADP. So get your guy. So he's six.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So he's six by ADP. But like I said, get your guy. If everybody just drafted by ADP, like what's the point of even drafting? Just send a robot to just
Right,
take the best
exactly.
player.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean that's two.
I mean,
That's two.
we use
Go for
no, that's kind of loud. Okay. No, I was just
it.
gonna say a couple years ago when I won the championship,
Hmm.
I streamed the quarterback pretty much
Yeah.
the whole season, so it worked out. So I think it's just about what you're comfortable with and what strategy you use, and then also how strong your team is around. So
Yeah.
it's all good.
Yeah, exactly. So it's you nailed it right there. It's what you're comfortable with. Like I'm comfortable streaming tight end. So I tend to stay away from
Okay.
tight ends if I don't get one of the big names. So Will, it's on to you, and it looks like Jonathan Taylor's there for you at 3. So CMC Barkley off the board
There we
one
go.
two. Um, it comes to me. I got a choice here between Dalvin Cook, Alvin Kamara. I'm gonna stick.
That's tough.
I know. I've had Dalvin Cook, or I'm sorry, I've had Alvin Kamara in my home league literally since he got drafted. He's been like my guy, so I'm just gonna lean towards Alvin Kamara because I'm not so afraid about the targets with if Taysom Hill starts because one, I think it's gonna be Jameis, and two, I think that it's kind of overblown. He had a lot of a foot injury that he was dealing with last year at the same time Taysom was starting, so I think those two kind of built on each other. Um, so yeah, you said you stream quarterbacks. Are you thinking you're going to stream them again this year, or is you want to snag one of the big guys?
So see, my thing is like I play it to how everybody else is doing, and if my guy or my guys that I want are not available, then I'll just go ahead and stream and I'll go ahead and figure it out. Because if you look at the gap between the points with quarterbacks, it's it's not as big as like with running back or wide receiver. But he did give me a good idea about the tight ends as well because I remember being high on some tight ends in the past. Like Hawkinson, I remember had him last year, and there were some games where he did okay, and there were some games that I didn't know if I actually benched him or not. But he was in the starting lineup and
He
just didn't come through.
he
So it just all
yeah,
depends.
he wasn't doing anything for you. So yeah, that's a good thing to remember is like with Hawkinson last year. I mean, that doesn't play into how you're going to draft him this year, right? Because he's a good player. Or did you get burned by him and you're gonna?
No, absolutely. Now there was a question posed on Twitter yesterday. They were like, okay, what tight end is not elite, but you feel is going to be elite?
Mm-hmm.
And I replied, I was like, Hudson and then Perez.
Yeah,
I don't know. I I know for a fact that golf is not an upgrade from
yeah,
Stafford. So we'll see how that plays out. And I just think that a lot of the success that golf did have in LA was due to McVay. Which
mm-hmm.
you got right now, right there, right behind you. But I think the real golf, was the one that was first drafted and played under the infamous Jeff Fisher.
Yeah. Jeff Fisher, who made everybody think that Todd Gurley was bad for a year. So it's my turn to pick. My strategy I'm trying this time. I'm trying for lots of running backs. So I'm going with Alvin Kamara and Antonio Gibson. Last week I did anchor running back, which was just one running back, and then I tried zero RB the week before. So this week I'm going to try lots of running backs. So now it's on to you. There's a lot of good wide receivers here, some good running backs available. And for whatever
Yeah.
reason, your window keeps changing size. I don't know what my computer is doing. So sorry to the stream. I keep resizing you. So you got 3 seconds.
All right. I think I got him. I think I got Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
All right. So you're a CEH guy here in the second. Oh, nope. You got Hopkins. You wanted CEH, but you got Hopkins. Looks like you ran.
Well, you know what? That's good because he was actually my first wide receiver that I picked up. So that's
That's
fine. That's fine. I mean, the way that is going right now, the draft. I mean, hopefully my guy is readily available here.
yeah. So I mean, he might come back to you. Or did he go? Yeah, it looks like CEH is still sitting right
Yeah.
there, so he might come back to you. Which is that's the perfect situation when you're like sitting there, you're just like, man, I can't decide between these two players. You gut check yourself, and then you're
Right.
like, oh my god, the other guy was there, perfect, and it's smooth sailing.
There we
There you
go.
go.
There we
See, so you
go.
got CEH.
So yeah.
Yeah, so it's on to me. I don't. I'm not a huge Joe Mixon fan. I think Miles Sanders has a lot of question marks. I also don't buy into this whole like Jamal Williams A back situation. So I will love to have DeAndre Swift as my third running back.
Right.
I think that by my reckoning, I have three top 15 running backs right now. So I'm very happy with my start. Again,
Okay.
it's 10 teams, so it's like everybody's start should be good.
Right.
So what?
Right. Well, you would hope so, right? I mean, at least the first 4 to 5
Yeah, the
rounds.
first 4 to 5 rounds should all be studs. So you got Jonathan Taylor, DeAndre Hopkins, and CEH. That's a pretty good start, and it looks like we're pretty running back heavy to start this draft, which is interesting. So, um, not question for you. So we've got Anthony P here who picked at 9. His first running back before Eckler, um, before Akers, before Antonio Gibson was Najee Harris. How do you feel about Najee Harris this year? How you feeling about that situation there in
Man, listen,
Pittsburgh?
I love Najee Harris in that situation that he's in. I mean, just being in Pittsburgh, if you just look at what the last decade,
Mm-hmm.
right, or even more than that, longer than that. I mean, every running back has had success. You could attribute that to the offensive line, to the coaches. But I just think that with his skill set, he's going to do very, very well. So I think it was definitely a steal for the Steelers where they got him. I'll tell you who else I really like. And let me know if this is like off or
Okay.
not. But I really like Travis Etienne.
Oh, we actually.
I really, really like Travis Etienne.
So that's funny that you bring up ETN. So pre-draft, I had ETN over Najee. Post-draft, I had Najee over ETN for first
Okay.
year because of the situation. And we had
Hmm.
Joe Pisapia on the podcast on Friday, who hosts the Fantasy Pros show. And we were talking a pretty broad topic, guys we're excited for 2021. And one of his guys, or
Hmm.
one of my guys, was Travis Etienne, and I was saying, look, I think he landed in a bad situation. Pia stopped me. He's like, no, 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 no. Here's the thing: he catches passes. He caught passes from Trevor Lawrence. He's catching passes from Trevor Lawrence in the NFL. They have that connection
Right.
built already, so
So
he
I
can be
agree.
that safety valve for a ton of just like short area targets.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I think that chemistry does have a plays a huge part in that, and especially that, you're going to be playing for a coach that the all of his experience comes from the college
Yeah,
ranks. What I'm concerned about is that I think that a lot of times due to first year head coach, due to the players that they have on board, they're gonna be blown out a lot of times. So you're gonna have to abandon the run, right?
right.
And you're gonna have to you're not gonna be able to throw it to the flats and do those little 3 and 5 yard dump offs and see what happens. You're gonna have to air it out,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I think that's why also Trevor Lawrence is gonna be in a good situation. But in those games or at the first 2 to 3 quarters, ETN should be able to show up in pretty much every
Yeah,
game.
that's one thing. Fancy points are fancy points wherever you get them. Um, so
Right.
if he gets them in the first 3 quarters, then so be it. So it's your pick now. I just took Miles Gaskin as my fourth running back, which I'm feeling
Okay.
good about Gaskin. So it's on to you.
Like that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna go with
Yeah,
ETN.
ETN's a great choice
I'm
too.
gonna
While
go
we
with
were
ETN.
talking about it.
I'm gonna go with ETN. Like I said, I just think he's gonna be, and keep in mind, you still, but I just think that
Mm-hmm.
especially middle to the end of the season, I think ETN is gonna pretty much take over that role,
Yeah,
being the starter back there. And like you said, I mean, he has no. It's not like he has to work on pass catching. That's something that we've seen him do. And be successful. So he's going to be good to go.
Yeah, I mean,
Or at least I'm hoping now. I'm really hoping.
I've likened his situation. I keep saying it. People who follow are going to get sick of me saying it, but I likened it to rookie year Kamara, where after week 4 they ditched Adrian Peterson, which in this case is going to be Carlos Hyde, and he was off to the races. Where he kind
Mhm.
of started in this like third down back, getting like 8 touches a game, and then he just took off after they turned it over to him. So, you know, I love Travis Etienne. I think he's going to be great. I just was trying out Miles Gaskin here in the 4th round to see how that worked out.
No,
Uh,
I like it. Now I will tell you this. I will tell you, I'm not touching any running back in for Tampa Bay. That situation down
oh yeah,
there is just like it's like hit or miss. It's just so heavy back there.
yeah. It's like you've got Leonard Fournette, and it's not like guys were good consistently. It's like you got Leonard Fournette, who was good in the playoffs. You got Ronald Jones, who was pretty good in the regular season. You got Keyshawn Vaughn, who was never good, and now you got Giovanni Bernard back
Right.
there, who could be James White for Tom Brady. We don't know. So it's
Exactly.
like
Exactly.
it's your pick right now while I'm talking, but it's one of those things where it's like I could see myself getting in like the 16th round of like a deeper draft, like a Gio Bernard, just in case. But I'm not investing any high capital
Mhm.
in these guys at all. Oh,
No,
you
that
took
makes
my
sense. So I went with
guy.
Robert Woods here. I mean, listen. I told you. I think Stafford is the wild card there. I like what you did. You try to just get me off track. I think you knew where I was going, which is good. I got a pretty good stable back here with the running back, so I wanted to switch it over to the to the
Uh-huh.
wide receivers and make that happen. But I mean, yeah, Woods is just phenomenal, right? I mean, he could just be in the slot, and then also pretty much every receiver there not only do a good job after the catch.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I really like Woods, and like I said, I mean Stafford, he's just a product of the team and the coaching staff that he's been in, in Detroit. So I think he's gonna come into his own. I think he's gonna have a phenomenal year. I think he'll definitely finish like for sure, like top 10
Yeah, no,
QB.
we were having a big discussion about the what it means to be a top 10 quarterback in the podcast on Friday. And Stafford has to do it in this day and age to be top 10. If you don't run, you got to have like 4,500 yards and 45 touchdowns in your back pocket because of the fantasy points involved. And Stafford's on that short list of
Right.
guys who, without running, could end up as a top 10 because he does have that
Oh yeah,
45,
absolutely.
4,545 in his back pocket.
Easily. I mean, I could see him, like I said, I mean, I could definitely see him getting, averaging about 300 yards per game easily,
Mm-hmm.
without a
Oh,
doubt.
yeah.
And the defense also, the defense has a lot to do with it because if you put a team in a situation where they're going three and out and also forcing turnovers, that's just going to give your offense more at bats, right? So
Yeah.
it's going to be a good situation for them.
Yeah. And especially they give you good at bats. I like that term for it because if Jalen Ramsey's picking a
Yeah,
ball off and running it back to the 25, that's way better than forcing a
there you
punt.
go.
Or if Aaron Donald's getting a
Right,
quarterback
right,
sack at a strip sack at the 40, that's way better than a punt. Short fields. It's good at bats that they're getting too. Oh man. So
exactly.
so yeah, I took Cooper
Now
Cup
I
for a
see
lot
my
of the same
guy here.
reason. What's up?
Okay. Now I see my guy here. I'm just hoping that he's. Oh man, he just went.
Oh, Kenny Galladay.
I was gonna be a homer and get Kenny. Yeah, I mean, listen. I didn't want to do it right because I didn't want anybody to call me a homer, but he's gonna have a great season for us. It's Danny Dimes make or break year. So definitely think that he's gonna come into his own and get it right, especially with the coaching staff that we have. And then also it's just we have to maintain. We got to stay healthy. If we stay healthy, I think that he's gonna be good. Okay.
Yeah. So while you're picking, I took Mike Davis because I ran out of time. I was like, I don't know who I want here, so I took Mike Davis. So I got all my running
All right.
backs.
All right. So how many running backs are we starting?
We're starting 2 in a flex, and we can roster up to 6.
Cool. Cool.
I ran into the roster limit on the first live stream. I had this whole reasoning why I was taking this guy. I forget who it was. Taking this guy 6th, and then it said I could or 7th. as a seventh running back, and it was like you can't take him, and then it gave me a kicker instead. And I was like, oh, okay. So you took Cortland Sutton. I love this pick. I was hoping Cortland Sutton was going to come back to me. People forgot how good he is, right?
So you know what, Jeff, I'm glad that I'm picking before you because it seems like I already took. I'm keeping count of this, you know. So I'm telling you, correct me if my math is incorrect. I think I'm at two right now of players that I stole from you. So I
Let me
think I'm
see.
doing a pretty good job
Let me
thus
see. Let me
far.
see. Let's see. You stole, yeah, three. No, I gave you ATN, but yeah, Woods and Sutton you stole from me. So good work. Good work. Yeah. No, I mean it's just one of those things where I think people forgot how good he is. You know.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Sutton really quick. I talked about him in the last live stream or maybe the live stream before. So while Evan picks, well, let's pull this up. But his rookie year, I mean his sophomore year, 124 targets, 72 receptions, 1112 yards, 6 touchdowns. And
Yeah.
and because they stunk last year with Drew Lock and we got a bad taste in our mouth, we all kind of forgot how good Cortland Sutton is. So I think he's a slam dunk top
Right.
25 guy this year. I don't think there's a doubt in that. So who'd you take here? Kenyon Drake. Well, you're not going to go third because
Kenyon Drake.
I am not a Kenyon Drake fan.
Okay.
Explain the Kenyon
Okay.
Drake pick to me. Try to sell me on Kenyon Drake. I'd like to hear it because you're a new voice here for the site, so I'd like to hear what you have to say about that.
So with Kenyon Drake, I just think that when he went over to Arizona, nobody expected the performance that he had. I think that, he's gonna get opportunities back there, in Vegas, and also with his passion, his pass catching ability
Mm-hmm.
is much better. So I just think that he's gonna definitely get the yards. And I mean, it is that's just like a flex option. I was debating between him and then Naheem Hines. Now, but
I think Hines you can get a little bit
I
later.
just yeah, later, yeah, I agree as well. I mean, just for what he does, but again, it's just one of those situations where, so for instance, I could see the Raiders doing that, going in a scheme where, like the Colts did, right? So you got Jonathan Taylor and Hines back there, at the same time, or just coming in and out, pretty frequently, and because I had both of them last year in a lot of cases, especially with DFS.
Mm-hmm.
So it should work out, or at least I'm hoping, you know. But I do see some good running backs still here on the board.
Yeah, there's still
Um,
some good guys, which is making me regret my starting with five. Was this four running backs? Five? Yeah, five running backs I started with. I'm
yeah,
regretting that move. So let's check out the chat really quick. Ken Shamrock says wide receiver one upside with Kenny G, smooth routes baby, and then Ken Shamrock says Sutton is a stud. So yeah, Ken Shamrock's actually in this draft. He's picking right before me this round. So it's actually Will. It's Ken, me, then you in a row, and he's using my information to know who to draft, I think. And Tango Dash One says, yeah, reception perception does love Cortland Sutton. And man, Matt Harmon really hit it out of the park with reception perception because it's like we argue about catching the ball, but he really figured like who gets good yak, who has good hands, but he really nailed the biggest why or biggest what of a running back, which is who gets open, and he really nailed talking about guys who get open. So that reception perception rocks. So I'm trying to think if I'm going to take a quarterback here or not. Nope, I'll take Chase Claypool. Chase Claypool, my third quarterback. I'm going really young. I didn't even mean to. I've got 1, 2, 3. I'm going to have 4 sophomores on this team so far. So I got to even out for the old guys I'm going to take down the line. So who'd you get? Who'd you get? Oh, you haven't picked yet.
nah, debating right now. Tyler Boyd.
Tyler Boyd.
Tyler
So
Boyd.
sell me on Tyler Boyd. So this is another guy I'm not a big fan of is Tyler Boyd.
You just got so before Burrow got injured. I mean, this guy was averaging 50 to 60 pass attempts. So I just think that because of the production's going to be there for both him and Higgins.
Okay, but Jamar Chase doesn't worry you too much. You think there's enough space for all three of them in there?
I think if there is, but I think that he's going to get Higgins will get pushed to the side. This is okay. This came pretty quick. Let's see what we want to do
Yeah, I
here.
think Evan's doing chaos drafting to simulate real people. Yeah, Ken Shermark
Yeah.
says Burrow had 100 target wide receivers last year, so the volume could be there for him. So we'll see. We will see. Evan, are you if you're there? Are you chaos drafting? Evan likes to get into the draft
That's
and
not
then
what I want.
play a role, so he might be the chaos drafter. So I'll do it. I'll pull the trigger on him here. I'm not a big fan of Kyle Pitts where he's going, but if I can get him in the ninth round, absolutely. There's no reason to not do this. And I'm disappointed in each and every one of you for letting me get him in the ninth round. I stole Ken Shamrock's pick. So Kyle Pitts, tell me your thoughts on Kyle Pitts because it seems like everybody has a different opinion on Pitts.
Love the
Uh
guy.
huh.
Love the guy. I mean, we selfishly, I was hoping that he landed at 11. I knew that that wasn't going to happen. Just based on his production, how good he is. I definitely knew he was going to be the first tight end to be taken. I think he's in a great situation, especially now that they don't have Julio Jones. He's going to get a lot of targets, and I think that he's going to probably be played more as a wide receiver as opposed to a tight end, just because the learning curve when you go from college to the pros is just different, right? Not only do you have to get on scheme with the routes and things of that nature, but also like the blocking schemes,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's another added element to the learning curve there. But yeah, Pitts is yeah he's one of those like hybrid players that which I thought again, and it just pains me to think about this, which is someone that I thought Evan Ingram was going to
Mm-hmm.
be coming out of Ole Miss. Obviously that it hasn't panned out to be that, but I think that he could definitely be one of those players that changes the game. Yeah, one of like you look at a like a Waller and a Kelsey type of player,
Yeah.
that could pretty much just have that production that's not tight end,
Yeah.
but more wide receiver ish.
Yeah, and I don't think the story's written on Evan Ingram. I still have faith in Evan Ingram. He just had way too many drops last year, and it screwed him up. So, I actually,
At crucial times.
yeah,
At crucial times.
I don't have to. I was gonna say I don't have to tell you that.
Yeah.
I
That's
I actually kind of have a faith in an Evan Ingram bounce back this year. I was looking at him for the stuff we're doing on the site, and I was like, okay, well, he had way too many drops last year, but he had four in the 2 years before that combined. So, but he had a lot his rookie year, so it's hard to nail down. But I think he's a guy who gets in his own head, which is why so many of his drops are focus drops. And I think with Kenny Galladay
yeah.
around, I think it's not so much of the pressure is on him. I think that might be better for him. But that's just me going armchair psychologist on him.
No, I like it. I mean, yeah, you're looking at so Shepard, we'll get Shepard, Tony, and then Ingram will be like the fourth
Yeah,
option. So
yeah,
yeah, he definitely doesn't have any pressure. So definitely going to be a downtick in terms of like targets that he's going to get, but those targets that do get thrown, he better catch all of them. I mean, there were some crucial drops last year. So
yeah. So
all right,
all
let's
right,
see what
all
we're
right,
going
we're
to do
back
here.
to you. And while you're talking, I'll just say I will take Brandon Cooks in every single draft. So you guys can just get used to that.
Okay, I like it. I'm just thinking here. All right, Philip Lindsay.
All right, so Philip Lindsay. So um, depth piece right now for the Texans, but you think he'll carve out a role with them where he'll maybe like a PPR slot or
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think when you say depth piece, what do you mean by that?
well, I mean he's right now as it stands, David Johnson's the RB1 there. And so unless David Johnson gets hurt, I don't think he's really given up that role, but that doesn't mean that there's
Right.
not space for Philip Lindsay to produce in like a PPR role like I said.
Yeah,
Um
exactly. Yeah, but I think also like very injury prone. So I think that the times that he does come in and he's gonna get some playing time there. I was gonna go Cole Beasley, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I don't know.
You weren't gonna.
Let me-
Cole Beasley won't take a shot, so you won't take a shot on Cole Beasley.
yeah. It's gonna leave that. You know, gonna
Yeah,
leave that. Yeah.
he
So
that man had a weekend all over Twitter. It was like, dude, just close the app, man. You don't need to be.
yeah,
You don't
man.
need
Like
to
you
do
don't.
this.
That's fine. Just keep it amongst.
Yeah,
You don't have to press send. You don't always have to press send. Some things are better left like left in draft.
yeah. Leave him in the
You can
drafts,
leave it in
man.
the draft. Like, yeah, you just leave it in the draft.
Just leave him
Like,
in the
hey,
drafts.
I said this, June 18th, June 19th, but I didn't send it out to everybody. So we'll see how that all that plays out.
Yeah. So I got a guy that I love this year, Ryan Tannehill, with my second to last real pick. So
Okay.
I'm really digging that in Tennessee because adding Julio to what they got going on there, I think that offense is going to be unstoppable around the goal line. I think he's going to have a ton of touchdowns. So you went Debo. All right. So I got
Yeah,
Ayuk.
yeah.
You got Debo. I think that's a great value on Debo at 103. So so Debo behind Pittman, Curtis Samuel. Was it an upside thing or a comfort thing? Like what made you go Debo ahead of the next couple guys that went off the board?
No, definitely upside. I mean, he's somebody. So when I look at especially like receivers, I'm like, okay, how many targets do they get? But then also, what do they do with the ball when they get it, right? So this
Mm-hmm.
is like somebody like he makes something out of nothing a lot of times, right? So it's just like I'm counting on that. But due to the fact that I picked him up pretty late, it's I think I'm in a win-win situation because if he is productive for me, good. But if not, he could always go for trade value.
Yeah, he could go for trade value or just move on from him.
Right,
It's one of
right,
those things where you didn't invest a lot in him. He's got tons of upside, and these are the bench guys that you want to go for. Is guys who don't have, I mean, that have a lot of upside but have a lot of question marks because that's where you find the value. Is if you hit on one or
right.
two of these guys, you're off to the races here. So let's see. Ken Shamrock's coworker stepson is Michael Pittman. All right, we'll put that aside. Just not that's all that there is in the chat. So, coming up here, let's look at your roster really quick. What's going on here? So, Will, you've got Taylor, Ceh, Etn, Drake, Lindsey. Actually, it's not a bad little. Lindsey is your fifth running back. Not a bad little core. I forgot that this is only 10 teams, so I was like, how is he taking Lindsey so early? Because in my brain, it was like the seventh round. But fifth running back, 10th round, I don't. It's a pretty good pick. Then your wide receivers: Hopkins, Woods, Sutton, Boyd, Debo. No tight end yet. So you got Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. So you're not scared of this Aaron Rodgers situation. You think he's under center week one?
Yes, yes. I mean, listen, I love to gamble, so I'm taking a gamble on that. I'm not concerned about it at all. If he doesn't start for Green Bay week one, he's going to be somewhere else week one. It's just this is not going to
Mm-hmm.
happen, and that is not what I wanted to happen.
Oh,
They just took
Tunyon,
Tunyon out
yeah.
from under me, but that's fine. Got a couple other players here that I like that I'm looking at the tight end spot. I'm going tight end this round.
Okay, yeah, I think I might know, but I'm not sure. But I definitely won't be taking him from you. That's for certain. So I will go. I'll go Naheem Hines here. We are big. So Walker, Big Daddy Drix on Twitter. He and I are working on a project that I can't give everything away, but pass catching running backs might be the steal of late drafts. Like I crunched the numbers and everything, and it's insane how good they are. So yeah, I'm really feeling good about Hines. So, Will, you're gonna go Logan Thomas, Irv Smith. You said it was gonna be a tight end. Jonnu Smith, Logan Thomas. Okay, so you're going for Steady Eddie there in Washington.
Steady Eddie, man. Fist Magic
Mm-hmm.
out there. I think that he's gonna get it. He's gonna get it done. And he's also a big threat in the red
Mm-hmm.
zone. So I like Thomas in that situation. But yeah, no, I was listening to you carefully, and I was actually looking at some running backs. But I think just because the way it's gonna come back, I could get the running back that I want coming up. So
Yeah,
yeah,
there's
because I'm definitely.
I was gonna say there's still a lot of good running backs out there that I like.
Absolutely.
I You're gonna
Absolutely.
pick, so I can start naming the guys that I like: Jamal Williams, Darrell Henderson. Let's see where else we got here. There was another guy. What do I? I don't see him. Oh man, I said it like I was gonna have a third guy, and then I lost him. All right, who's your guy?
Yeah, so I'm liking I was looking at Giovanni Bernard,
Okay,
but I think I'm gonna go Daryl Henderson over here.
Darrell Henderson. So Darrell Henderson's.
Actually,
Oh,
I'm gonna go McKissick.
JD. That's who I was thinking of. Was JD McKissick because I was thinking
McKissick,
pass catching
yes,
backs.
McKissick. Sorry, yeah. So we were just talking about it.
Yeah,
I just think it's a win-win
yeah,
down there. I think, he did pretty well last year, but like I said, I mean, and I was talking about this earlier today to a group of people. Um, the downsides of Fitzpatrick is that he's either really good or really bad, right? I mean,
yeah,
he could come out and he could throw for 4 to 6 touchdowns, or he could throw for 4 to 6 interceptions. It feels like he never has like a middle ground, right? It's not like, okay, yeah, like a decent game, so it's pretty much all or nothing. So pretty much have a lot of eggs in this NFC East basket here
yeah,
with two Washington football team players, but feeling good about them.
yeah.
I mean, I like my team overall. I mean, I think with the Sutton at receiver, Hopkins and Woods. I mean, that's elite. That's elite right there. I think all three of those will probably finish top 10.
Yeah, no, I mean let's look at your the draft chart here. So, yeah, Hopkins, Wood, Sutton, that is huge. Tyler Boyd, Debo Samuel, those are nice wide receiver depth guys. Yeah, I like what you've done with your team overall. I realize I don't like the pick that I made. I made Marvin Jones Jr. It's a 10 teamer.
Mm,
I like Marvin Jones. I think he'll lead the Jaguars, but there's no reason to have him to draft a Marvin Jones in a 10 teamer. That's
no,
on
absolutely
your
not.
depth on your bench guys. You gotta go upside. There's not a lot of upside there. He's a consistent guy, like the Logan Thomas of wide receivers. Like he'll do well. He'll beat his ADP, but if I had it back, probably. I mean, I might have the pick back again, but I'm a big Mike Williams believer this year in terms of a sleeper play. I
Okay.
think he. I love Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert loves to throw it deep. Mike Williams is one of the best 50-50 guys in the NFL. So it's one of those match made in heaven things. I don't know about this 1,000 receiving yards and 9.6 touchdowns they haven't projected for, because that would be his like best receiving year plus his best touchdown year. But you know, we'll see how that goes. So don't forget you can only take 6 of a position. So keep that in mind as you keep drafting.
Hmm.
So because of that, my bench is full. I normally advocate getting more guys, but now I gotta go kicker and defense here. All right, so let's
Same
go.
thing. I'm in the same boat. I'm in the
All
same
right,
boat.
so kicker. Let's go DST. Cleveland, Buffalo, KC. Um, you know what? Dallas is getting overdrafted. I'll go Cleveland. My dad's from Cleveland.
Man,
I really
man,
like Miles Garrett.
man. That
Um,
that was my pick right there.
Hey, there you go. That's turnabout, man. You stole my picks earlier. I steal your picks late. Garrett's there. If Clowney can put things together, yeah, added Clowney to Garrett. Yeah, Ken Shamrock saying the same thing I am. So, perfect. You can't see the chat, but I can.
Okay, okay. I,
Yeah,
I was about to say like, where's this coming in? But
yeah. No, I got chat access here in my thing. So yeah, um,
going Buffalo.
Buffalo. That's pretty good. They spent. I feel like they spent a lot on defense this
Yeah,
year. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, they got some strong players in the secondary as well. So they're all around defense. I like them. I definitely like them.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, they probably looked at their squad and went, all right, so offense is set. Like, there's no
Right,
way that like Cole Beasley just suddenly isn't in the NFL anymore.
right, right, right.
But they're like
I mean,
offense
he's a
is.
lock. Let's do everything we can to keep him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So they're going offense is good. I mean, Josh Allen killing it. The running backs are head scratchers, but they got Breida. The stable, all told, is pretty good. So they dumped everything into defense because that's going to get them the championship. So I think that, yeah, it's a good pick there of Buffalo. So now let's really break down these kicker picks that are about to happen. No, I'm just gonna.
All right, so I'm gonna go Ryan Suckup just
Okay.
for the simple fact that they're gonna spend a lot of time in the red zone. I'm only hesitant because they might score a lot of touchdowns, and then that's only going to leave you with 1 point as opposed to three or more.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do this. I usually don't. I'm lying, I do, but I'm gonna do this though, Jeff. I'm gonna go Graham Gano, and I'm gonna just
Okay.
keep it. I'm gonna keep it very, very homer.
All
I'm gonna
right.
be a homer and get my kicker from the New York Football Giants. I like, I still remember him when he was with Carolina and he broke my heart at the end when he hit I think it was like a 61 or 62 yard field goal to end the game
Oh
there.
yeah.
And it just broke me. But he's consistent. You know what I'm saying? He's consistent and he definitely does what he needs to do. I remember last year he came in the clutch for us, so I'm hoping for another run at it this year.
Yeah. So you went Homer. So I went Homer. I took Robbie Gould of my
Okay.
Niners. But I was actually, I have this. The Niners love to stall out in the red zone. Now, Trey Lance probably
Mm.
fixes this, but they love to stall out in the red zone. So Robbie Gould is kicking. It felt like every third drive, Robbie Gould is kicking a field goal for the 49ers. Um, so it was like, you know what? I'll take that. And if they score, oops, he gets 1 point instead. Also, just being a homer. I was just following
Right,
following
right.
your lead there. So
So let me ask you, what week do you think Trey Lance starts?
I think Trey Lance starts at least 13 games. So
Okay.
I remember I looked at the 49ers schedule, but I don't have it off the top of my head. There was an easy handoff point. So that's preseason. It's so they go Lions, Eagles, Packers, Seahawks, Cardinals. Oh, it's the Colts. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's week 6. Or week 7 because they have a bye week. So I think the Colts aren't a bad handoff point because you'll be past the division. You'll be past.
That's a strong defense though.
It is a strong defense, but you'll be past the guys who know the 49ers who play them every year, Seahawks and Cardinals. So it's like
Got it.
it's not a bad start. Plus it's a night game, so just get that out of the way right away. But I mean, the question mark is Jimmy Garoppolo's health. Dude is never healthy. That's the problem.
Right.
He's like
Right, 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 right.
people love to say, "Oh, Ken Shamrock wants to hear about the 49ers great about Lance's greatness." But people love to say, "Oh, injury prone isn't a thing." But it's like, dude, Jimmy Garoppolo just, I mean, it
Yeah.
there's not a guarantee of getting hurt, but there is a guarantee of a play style leading to injuries. Like, dude tore his ACL because he was trying to truck uh, the safe. I don't want to say it was Tyrann Mathieu, but it was a safety for the Chiefs when he wasn't going to get a first down if he trucked him. Like, what were you
Right,
doing? Like, you tore your
right.
ACL, and then he stays in the pocket too long, so that gets him too many hits. Doesn't throw the ball away. So I think Trey Lance. I mean, ideally, Trey Lance is starting every game. That's what I would like to have happen because Ken Shamrock asked about it. I think Lance is going to be really, really good, and I think he's going to be good with Kyle Shanahan. He might have a learning curve, not because I think that he's untalented or that he's not NFL ready, but because NDSU played one game last year. So
Oh yeah, yeah. So he essentially like saved and what he had like three touchdowns and yeah, he had a couple touchdowns, right? That
yeah,
game, I
but he
think.
also he also had a couple picks, which was really unlike him
Yeah,
because
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
because NDSU, they were like, all right, we're not going to have a season. Let's just get everybody COVID tested, and they scheduled a an exhibition game just to get all the players some reps, some tape. And you could see in that game, Lance was pushing it. Like you knew he was like, "This is my one shot."
yeah. This is my
Um,
game tape right
yeah,
here for the
this
season.
this is they'll put me next to Carson Wentz in the NDSU halls of history. Um, but I think he's got a lot of potential. I think he's in the right spot with Kyle Shanahan because the dirty secret is that Nick Mullins wasn't good, CJ Beathard wasn't good, but they were productive for fantasy football, especially Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins tricked people. So I think Lance is all upside. So
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna turn this
absolutely.
around on you. Talk to me about Kadarius Toney because that's what I want to know about as a Giants fan. Talk to me about Kadarius Toney.
Cool. So again, definitely tuning in to watch Pitts all last year and just that team that they had, Trask and Pitts and the things that they were doing down there. So I didn't really pay attention to Tony a lot until we actually drafted him. So I went back and looked. The guy is fast, man. And if you look at the routes that he runs, I mean, he's a professional route runner,
Mm-hmm.
right? So PRR, that's what I call him, a
PRR.
professional route runner. And he got he pretty much got the go ahead and the thumbs up from Jerry Rice. So if the best or arguably
You
one
can.
of the
I'm a
best
49ers fan.
receivers.
You can say the best. I won't push back.
Okay. I just I
I
just
won't
don't like
push
to
back
commit to
on
anything.
Rice the
Right.
goat.
Okay. So if the best wide receiver in the game pretty much gives him the go ahead and gives him thumbs up without him playing one game, not even a preseason game, then you got to go. But that guy is fast. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So I think, like I said, with him coming out of the slot, he's gonna do well. And then with the other weapons, just because you gotta account for Saquon coming out the backfield, you gotta account for Shepard, Galladay, and then hopefully, I'm holding on to the words that you spoke earlier on
Yeah.
Evan Ingram. I'm hoping that he's the defenses worry about when they're game planning. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I think Tony's gonna do great there. And I mean, speed is everything in the league.
Hmm.
I mean, we've seen what Tyreek Hill has been able to do. I'm not saying he's Tyreek Hill, but the kind of speed that he has and the routes that he runs, he's going to be good. So I was also overall where we fell and how everything went about with the last minute Cowboys and Eagles trading picks and them moving up because we originally wanted Devontae Smith.
Hmm.
So then we traded out with Chicago, moved over to 20. So for us to get him where we got him, I think that's great value.
Yeah. No, that's great, and I like that you brought up his route running. So I there was a discussion on the podcast because Mike did not particularly care for his route running, and it's unorthodox.
Come on, Mike.
It's unorthodox, but I like it because he puts guys in a blender and he ends up where he's supposed to be. Which really isn't that what route running comes out to be, anyways?
At the end of the day, that's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
So
He reminded me a lot when I was watching him of Stevie Johnson. If you remember Stevie Johnson, who put prime Richard Sherman and prime Darrell Revis in a blender in the same season. So it's just I'm glad you said that because I was getting roasted for it. So let's do this real quick. Why don't we? I'm gonna dump the draft into Fantasy Pros here, but we got 5 minutes left with it before it bounces out. Why don't you talk
okay.
about your favorite pick that you made and the pick you wish you could have back? So if you click on draft results and then draft board, you can see the whole draft board. So while I'm doing this, why don't you talk about
Let's see.
the draft?
All right. So see, Aaron Rodgers was an auto pick
Mm-hmm.
for me.
Oh,
So that's one of the ones that I regret. I think the pick that I'm most happy about is definitely the Robert Woods.
yeah.
Just for the simple fact that, like I said, I mean, I just think that Stafford was a product of where he was. Who was the last quarterback to be successful in Detroit? I mean, I don't really remember. So I just think that it was a lot of times where had he had the capable players and had he had the good coaching behind him, he would have there would have been different results in a lot of games and also for his career. But I think he's great with McVay, just for the simple fact that McVay is the mastermind that he is offensively, and he's going to put the players in a position to be successful. And Robert Woods, we even seen it. I mean, he's been since he was at his days at USC. He's been a killer. He's very reliable. He's always available, right? He's not one of those people that's like, okay, like is he injury prone or not? There's no question with that. And then if I could have a pick back, you moved me off my Lindsay. You moved me off my Lindsay. I was feeling good, but then
Sorry.
when I picked him, I mean, I was like, man, I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know. I mean, I guess the we haven't been really hearing a lot of news of any players in Houston besides Deshaun Watson. I feel like so. I just took a stab at him, but I'm hoping that he does get to get some touches back there.
Yeah. So all right.
He's a great catcher out the backfield as well. So we'll
Yeah, we'll
see.
see. I mean, like I said, as your fifth running back, it's not something it's not something I would do, but not something I hate that you did. So
Right.
Ken Shamrock asked me to run this through Fancy Pros little analyst thing, and let me
Okay.
share my screen with you so that you can see this while I have this up. So you're not going to see me for a second. You're going to see the screen. So we got Will. You're down here at 8. You got some work to do, buddy.
Well, this is all projections, right? I mean, that's
Yeah.
fine.
No, it's
I think that Lindsay pick
yeah.
probably knocked me down
The
a little
computer
bit.
gave you negative points for Lindsey Pick. He's like, "What's this guy doing?" But here's the
Yeah.
thing: how many mock drafts have you done this year so far?
This is actually well, no, this is actually my first one. I
See,
told you, I'm currently still
it,
in a mock draft for sleeper. I mean, hopefully we're done by August.
yeah,
I mean, every person gets 4 hours, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, no, this you know what? I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this because if you look at the score, I'm not looking too much at the place. I'm looking at the score. So if you're telling me that the second person here, William, is at 753, and I'm a little bit under or a little bit over
hmm
100 points, I'll take
yeah.
that.
There you go.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That's fine.
So Ken Shamrock wanted to ask because he got the number one score. I got four. Now this is when I talk about my draft. I took
Okay.
too many running backs. I was trying to see what happened if I took too many running backs. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So I'm
Mm.
gonna drop this window here so that you can see me again. So real quick. So oops, I had ADP update. So here we go. So Kamara Gibson. Okay, so I would on the comeback here if I had it back instead of taking probably DeAndre Swift, probably would have gone A Rob or Michael Thomas there. Maybe Keenan Allen. There's this run of four backs here at the or wide receivers here at the bounce. That if I had it back, I wouldn't have taken Swift. And actually, now that I think about it, probably wouldn't have taken Gaskin. I would have taken Robert Woods there instead if I had it my way. So yes, I think my Miles Gaskin pick I'd have back, and I'd take Robert Woods there. I think that's my final answer. So if I got Woods, I'm not going
Nice.
Cup. So instead, I'll go Cooper, who went one pick after me. So Kamara, Gibson, Swift, Woods, Cooper is a start that I like a lot more than what I have. Mike
Okay.
Davis in the sixth. Nobody's coming for that job, so I feel good about that. Like it's like Javian Hawkins is the best shot at unseating him, but Javian Hawkins is that Falcons didn't make him a priority. So it's like, who cares? Who cares about it? So yeah, Tango Dash One in the chat said that guy in the '50s who cursed them. Who's that talking about? I think that's oh the last good quarterback that the Lions had, and then
Right,
yeah,
right. So my thing is this. So looking at it, and I forget who I took before him. T. Higgins was on the board, and I picked somebody else. And I also think what hurt me is the Kenyon Drake pick, and yeah, and for
nope,
sure the Lindsey. So I probably should have went a little bit more wide receiver heavy. But at the same time, it's just one of those things where like my starters are legit. So if everything holds how it needs to, then I probably won't even have to touch the bench unless it's like a bye
yeah.
week.
I mean, and that's perfect in a 10-team league. You know, your bench is there as depth guys to make things better. So, all right, the draft kicked us out, Will. So, any where can the people find you before we get out of here?
Yeah, absolutely. So on Twitter, biased opinions underscore. Just talk sports all around. So I'm gonna be talking more heavy fantasy football coming up. I have a podcast that I started last year at the beginning of the NFL season. I'm gonna transition to talking more fantasy stuff and also like player props for the NFL season. So looking forward to that. You could find that podcast wherever podcasts are available. I think I did it right. I think I
Yeah, what's
did.
it called?
And it's
Oh,
biased
okay. So it's
opinions. So
biased
it's all
opinions.
the same. Yeah. So it's all the same. And yeah, on Twitter you can find me at biased opinions underscore. So no, I had fun. Like I said, I'll definitely learn a thing or two from you. I'll definitely stay away from going running back
Yeah.
heavy, and lean on and focus more on the on running backs that could catch out the backfield. So gonna probably do more than a handful more before the actual got some drafts coming up in next month, and I'm in August. So I'm trying to get some reps in so I could knock it out the park and
When it
not
matters.
have to eat at Waffle House for 12 to
What's
24
your
hours.
strategy there? You brought it up. What's your strategy for this Waffle House thing?
Okay, so listen, if so was it 12
It was
hours?
24, but you lost an hour for every
24?
waffle you ate.
So you lost. Okay, so here's what I'm doing. In the morning, I'm going I'm going bacon egg and cheese, right? I'm doing a nice little breakfast sandwich. Um then
But you got to eat waffles. That's the thing.
oh, you got to eat
It
waffle every
has to be
hour.
waffles.
So every time, so you have to, okay, so for every waffle you lose an hour.
Yes.
Oh, that's nothing. Yeah,
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 that's
we could do that. Yeah, we could
yeah.
do that. Yeah, we could do a skillet. We could do a skillet with hash browns and get
So
some
you're eating extra food.
yeah. So would you just eat a waffle um every
I
hour
get
and
that's
that's
what
it?
I would do. It's like you. I mean, Waffle House. They're what, like this big. They're not small. They're decent sized. You eat a quart.
The waffles, but they're so
Yeah,
thin. They're so thin. I
exactly.
mean, I run through. I mean, it's like a nice appetizer. It's like a napkin. You won't even confuse it at times, right? I mean, the good thing that it's tan. If now you're like, oh, am I
Am
eating
I
a
just eating
napkin or am
the
I eating an
yeah?
actual waffle?
Somebody left a
Now,
doily on this plate. It's like, oh no, it's the
right,
waffle.
right, right. Now I'm definitely starting with like a breakfast
Okay.
sandwich and probably like a patty melt. I mean, I gotta take advantage of the 12 hours. I mean, but I could definitely do that with no problem.
Okay.
I spent a total of 6 years in Atlanta. So
Okay.
like I said, I mean that they were talking about it like it was something really bad. But I know some people that would just like go through that in a
Yeah, we
breeze.
just house
That'd
it.
be nothing
Yeah.
for them. Yeah. Oh, I could definitely do 12 waffles in a 12-hour period.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Ken Shamrock has a good point here where he's like, look, if you the syrup is going to be the issue because you're going to start to get sick to your stomach from so much syrup. So,
Well, you switch
yeah, throw
off,
some
right? Like one
butter.
hour you do syrup, the other one you just get that melted
Yeah.
butter and you skip the
Yeah.
syrup. You got to be very strategic here. You got to be very strategic. Yeah, that syrup, it's heavy,
Yeah.
man. It will definitely around hour 4 or 5 you're gonna start feeling it.
Yeah,
You know, wash that down with some of that very pulpy orange juice.
and just keep it going.
Yeah, I could get
Yeah.
through it.
So my strategy was like, yeah, just down like a waffle an hour, maybe two. But then when I get sick of being there, that's when I start slamming waffles because it's like I can feel bad sitting in a booth at Waffle House, or I can feel bad at my bed at home. So many people
Yeah.
are like, well, I'm gonna slam like 6 waffles in the first hour, and then feel like trash, and then I'll have a little bit more as I go on. I'm like, no, I'm gonna feel like trash at home if I start slamming waffles. You know, I'm gonna
So every waffle you lose an
Yes.
hour.
So you start with 24
So
and you
I'm
either have to spend that 20 your waffles plus hours has to add up to 24 when it's all done.
I could do I mean, so I would stack it up. I could do three waffles in 1 hour
Easy. Yeah. So, yeah,
easily. So I'm doing one waffle, butter, syrup.
perfect. That works out well. Why don't
That's
we
it.
leave it at that?
That's
So
it.
perfect.
All right.
Perfect way to end it. And I don't mean sorry, I did the thing that's white nationalist now. It meant okay before and I still accidentally do it.
No,
I
you're
didn't mean
good.
to
I'm
do the
gonna
white
report you,
nationalist
man.
thing.
MSNBC, man. Come check this guy
All
out.
right. So thanks again to Will for joining us. You can find him at biased opinions _ on Twitter. And you'll probably see him around a little bit more because, Will, this was awesome. I appreciate you coming on with us. So check us out, footballabsurdity.com. Click the follow button. We almost have enough followers for Twitch to like us. So why don't you go ahead, if you're in the chat right now, why don't you go ahead and click follow? We'd love that. And I will be back on Wednesday with a few guys, not quite sure nailed down yet. It's going to be some of the podcast guys. I think we're probably going to do around 3 o'clock Pacific. And they're just going to roast my ranks. I finished my ranks, and they're going to be like, what are you doing with this guy? What are you doing with that guy? So it'll be a fun hour and a half to do that. So that'll be on Wednesday. Then Evan's going to start live streaming again on Thursday, I believe, 1 o'clock every day, doing some mock draft stuff. So for Will, thanks for watching, everybody. And again, check them out, biased opinions _ And Ken, you can roast on Wednesday about 3 o'clock. Take care, everybody.